Hey squad, Titobods here. You may be wondering why I am doing a voiceover in a BOD match. But anyway, you are not wrong. You have read the thumbnail right. That when I got into the game, I was kind of late. Plus, I did the buffs, especially the 30% for the group capacity, 10% for the regular buffs of attack and defense. But unfortunately, I kind of forgot to, update my troop amount before I went to the field. So, if you are one of those players who kinda experience something like this, sometimes kindly hit me in the comments and or just like the video so that I would know that I am not alone when experiencing this kinds of stuff in the game. So it's like an honest mistake, and well, it wasn't problematic, thankfully, since our opponent during this time was 55 and they have listed like 49 out of 50 potential players in their servers or from their servers, but we had a huge advantage during the fight. So first off, I just want to address that I was late because I was doing something before I got to the game and I wasn't aware that the time is already running out. But anyway, we did arrive at around 19 minutes before the event finished. So from the last spot, we did manage to get to at least, I think, less than top 10 or in the top 10. So I think something like that. But anyway, as I've said, sometimes I do kind of, use this amount of capacity, but sometimes I do use the blue one. And since the amount of players that they had was 49, I think, I was kind of, in my mind, I just want to have at least the best troops that I can produce during the fights, and so that our Legion has the potential to actually win the fight or win the entire event. So I did also decided to go on do a voiceover in this one because it was an epic fail from the start, and I haven't really done so much voiceover in the past. I did try it once or twice in a video, and yeah, I think it's kind of okay. I kind of feel like sometimes there are players that are benefiting from this, especially vocal learners, if they want to get something out of, just the highlights of what I do before. So in this video, I did decided upon doing the voiceover. So with all that said, I will give you some tips. Maybe you already know, or maybe some of you guys, especially the new players, beginners, that you don't know yet about this kinds of advantages that you can get from playing BOD and how to prepare for it sometimes. So first off, there is like a difference on having more registered players, or not registered players, but rather registered Legion participation in BOD than Wonder. And why is that? So, to sum it up, BOD's Legion is important because every Legion, may it be a loss or a win, will have a potential extra rewards for all the players. May you have been on that specific Legion or not. May you have played for that specific Legion or not. So, the most or the more the Legion that you have, if you have maxed the 5 Legions, you will receive everything from those Legions. So you will receive extra rewards, not for the participation, but rather for just having a Legion from your alliance. And what are those rewards? You can gain extra speed ups, resources, and gems as just having that participation for your alliance, not just you as participating on that Legion. So of course, it's going to be a different participation rewards if you are in the Legion, plus if you won, it's going to be different. So that's the advantage of having your BOD versus your Wonder. So in your BOD, you want more Legions so that you can get more rewards for everybody. Now in Wonder, it's different. In the Wonder contest, the more wins that you get, the more you have for the points for yourself. So the Wonder contest is a win-lose basis. Unlike your BOD, even if you lose, you will get rewards. So in the Wonder contest, it's quite different. So in the Wonder contest, what you prioritize is winning. So the more Legions that you lost, the more or the less points your alliance will get in the overall rankings. On those rankings will also give you, potential rewards in the future. That's why also in BOD, those are important also. But the most important thing in BOD is having your Legions, registered so that you will have right away the assurance of having extra rewards even if you don't win. Unlike in the Wonder contest, there's no such thing as that, but rather you want to win. That's why you have to have a good Legion, may it be just 2 Legions or 3 Legions, as long as they are packed with good players and potential winners. So that's the difference between your BOD and Wonder when it comes to the benefits. Now, are there skills important in BOD? And a lot of players are actually asking this one because there are trash classes, there are trash skills in the BOD that you don't really need. So I won't talk about those here in the video. But I just want to tell you guys that the most important thing here, or the skills here in the BOD, is the one wherein you can charge. You can increase the movement speed of everybody. That's number one. That is most important. Number two is the tank, wherein you will receive just less damage when you are in the field. But in the process, you're going to lose movement speed. But it's really a good one if you are a tank. So that's number two. Number three is like, I think it's the Reaper, the one that should be your strongest. Because every time they kill a portion of everybody that is near you, their life will have some sort of recovery or heal. So it's pretty important. So I think those are the three important skills in the BOD. I don't think the Monk with the vision is important, to be honest with you guys. So I think those are the three important things. So a lot of players can actually do multiple skills. Like for example, the movement speed, the Centurion charge, I think that's what it's called. I kind of forgot the name. But it's what we use. It's one of the most important. And also the tank. And then, of course, the Reaper. So those are the three ones that I think is very important in the BOD. And the next question that I had popping up on my comments is what marches are best in the BOD and Wonder. There is actually no best marches, but the first one, I think, if there is going to be your main march. Whatever your main march is, it should be the one that is your priority in the field. The second one is, of course, your second strongest in the field. But if ever you have the luxury of having multiple marches, the best one, to be honest with you guys, if for BOD, it's actually either Lubu or Cyrus. Those are the two that you want in your side when it comes to the BOD. Lubu number one because he moves, swiftly in the field and getting more kills, especially swordsman. There's a lot of swordsmen in there, so Lubu is number one for that, and he moves swiftly in the field even if you're a free-to-play player. One of the best things that you can do is to occupy some towers or territories in there so that you can get your hands on those once you get the relic, and it's easier for your side to actually score points through the relic. And number two is Cyrus. Cyrus gets a lot of points because he is being attacked by multiple players, especially if he is the bearer of the relic. And then there is this phenomenon wherein you can try to build something that is super tanky that not everyone can actually defeat it. That if you have like a healer build, a healer leader, commander, a healer second, a healer third, you will be tanky and get more in the process. So healer with defense or damage reduction. So that's actually just a theory, or hypothetically it can work, but it's hard to be honest with you guys. But there is a chance that it can work. So it's going to be the relic barrier, but you won't get any points. That's the thing. We haven't yet gotten into that kind of scenario yet, but maybe in the future I can test it and do some stuff with it. So there is that. So other things that you can actually do is, your swords, especially, burst damage leaders like Miyamoto and Pyrrhus. Ramesses is good, to be honest with you guys, to get points. But bursting is not Ramesses' thing, unless you're super strong. So bursting is Miyamoto's thing, and Pyrrhus' thing. And I did kind of build something that will destroy Ramesses with a Pyrrhus, and it's still kind of in the works. It's not still 100% yet until I test it 100% in an open field, maybe during the Desolate Desert. But anyway, moving back to topic. So that's your most important lineups that is best in BODs and also in Wonder. So Lubu can actually move around the field quick. You can get more towers, more Wonder towers, or more territories. And also with Cyrus's, when you are being attacked by multiple heroes, even if you fall, you will get multiple points from that one because you are being attacked by multiple heroes. Unlike if you are, for example, me, I'm a Pyrrhus. I'm a single target player unless they are going to swarm me, which Pyrrhus doesn't really like being swarmed. Unlike your Ramesses. Ramesses is okay with being swarmed because he can dish out damage to multiple targets at the same time, but Pyrrhus is different. And also your Miyamoto can be swarmed, but he's so squishy that he can actually fall before he dish out that much damage, so that's the difference. Unlike if you're Lubu, you get more points also if you are attacking throughout the entire fights or the entire match. And also with Cyrus, as I've said, multiple players attacking you, you are damaging multiple players, and in the process, you're getting more points. So you can actually observe this during the fights. If it's not KA, if it's not Cyrus, it's Lubu. So that's the thing. Especially free-to-play player, low spenders, mid spenders, Lubu is the best that there is for you guys, to be honest with you. And if I'm going to start again, I think Lubu is going to be my main, and secondary should be Sun Tzu for me, if I am going to start again. The other question is, does this give points in the dynasty? Yes, of course, it does give points to your stellar dynasty or stellar glory if you are still in those servers. So it does give points, and of course more points for the winner. And there is like a total amount of points for your kingdom if you win multiple BODs or multiple wonders. And is using buffs really a necessity here, or is using buffs really necessary in this event? To be honest with you guys, for me, it is. Because in the BOD, for example, if you are going to use buffs and you win, you're going to get purple gems, right? There's actually a potential for that if you win. If you always lose, then it's not a purple gem. It can be green, it can be black. I kind of forgot what it is, but it's not purple. And there is a difference between how much you can get from winning in the BOD. Number 1, points. Number 2 is rankings. Number 3 is rewards, which is a purple gem, which is pretty important. And overall contribution to your dynasty. And a lot of players, even Krakens, are using buffs in the BOD and also in the Wonder Contest. So buffs, even if your buffs is just 10%, which you can get from the military training or military exercise, you can get your damage and defense buffs in there, and then maybe just use green troop capacity or blue troop capacity if you are able to, and then you can, as long as you can secure a win in a BOD and get those purple gems, that's actually very, very good, especially for your account. And you know, it's one of the best ways to actually show off your march than, you know, your typical battle in the battlefield wherein you will die. So that's why players, well, most low spenders, mid spenders do use buffs also, even if they know that even if they choose buffs, using buffs here rather than using buffs in the field sometimes, for especially for the troop capacity, because here they will not lose troops, they can go all out. Unlike when it comes to your battlefield, if they use troop capacity, they will have more deaths. It's like it's like putting themselves into flames. So that's what it is. So yeah, buffs for me here are necessary. Every time I do the POD or the Wonder Contest, I do use buffs. May it be 10%, 30%, it depends on the server that we are facing. So if it's a known stronger server, I will use 30% troop capacity or 30% buffs. But if I don't know about the server, I just use, you know, purple buffs and then maybe green or blue troop capacity. So that's what I do. So for the scheduling of this one though, just make sure that when you schedule your BOD or Wonder Contest, make sure that you are going to attend the schedule, the one that you scheduled on. And there are players that are very lazy on checking or double checking if they did register. So after registration, they sometimes do relax and then they thought that everything is good. But when it comes to the BOD schedule or Wonder schedule, they won't see their name or they won't be in a legion, because sometimes, you know, there are leaders that kind of change, you know, schedules, or maybe you are, well, not the first 30, so since it's 50 now, you're not in the first 50, and maybe a lot of players have chosen that certain schedule and you are out of it, and then once you realize it, it's too late. So you have to double check it once the registration process is almost finished, like it's the last day of registration. Make sure that you are in a legion. And for those players who are leaders for the scheduling, do not just change everybody's schedule. That's bad, man. I have experienced that before. I just don't want to talk about it. But do not change everybody's schedule without their knowledge. Okay? I was once a leader who did something like that to fulfill every single, you know, legion, and that was a mistake on my part. But I did though inform the player. But what happened is they didn't get responded, and I kind of did it anyway. But that was, I think, just once, and I was, you know, I was sorry for what I did. So I was also guilty of that. But for those leaders who are changing schedules, please make sure that before you change schedule of someone, make sure that they are going to participate in the schedule that you want. So you have to contact them first before you change the schedule. And of course, for the players, be responsible enough to actually check your schedule if you are in the right schedule before the finish or the end of the registration process. There is going to be like an end of the registration process, and then it's going to be like a day wherein you can see if you are in a legion or not. Make sure that you double check your name or your schedule in that one. So sometimes this lights a fuse for a you know, bad relationship between leaders and players, because some leaders are also irresponsible for not checking it out with their members. So they thought that their members should already understand what it is, but it should not be like that. It should always be properly communicated with everybody to avoid any misunderstanding. And sometimes this misunderstanding lights a fuse for civil wars in your server. Correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes there have been misunderstanding or civil wars that started from misunderstanding as small as this one. So anyway, I think that's about it for me today in this video. So if you think I missed something about the BOD or related to it, please let me know in the comments, and you know me, I'm going to talk about it. If you want more contents like this, kindly click the video on your screen right now, and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, squad, have a great day too, everyone. This is your Titobods, and I will see you in our next one.